Hashtag cash stuffing? What are we talking about here? Cash stuffing?
So it involves putting cash into envelopes based on your spending categories, and ultimately it's to help you not overspend and impulse buy. All right.
Well, hello and welcome back to my channel. It's Celisa coming to you from Beautifully Me and You. And today, you guys, we're going to be talking about cash stuffing or the cash envelope system for beginners. And if that sounds like something that interests you, then let's get right into it. All right, so to get started, just a little bit about me. I've been doing cash stuffing for a little bit over a year and a half, and it has literally changed my life, okay? So not only am I in control of my finances now, and I feel like I'm able to grow even more so and be accountable, it really just changed my outlook on money in general. And that's something I'm hoping to help you guys with today. The foundation of the cash envelope system is going to be a good, strong budget. And from there, you'll pull your money typically from the bank and then stuff it into cash envelopes. And I'm going to explain step by step what all those terms mean. So that way you'll have a foundation. And then I'll show you kind of like a little bit of how it's all put together. Okay? First term you'll probably hear something about is going to be cash envelopes. And so let me give you some examples of that. Cash envelopes are typically the money that you would carry around with you whenever you need to spend on incidentals, things like gas, groceries, spending money, a trip to the beauty salon or the nail shop. There are several categories that you can establish for your cash envelopes, but that's actually going to be something that you're going to carry around cash with you. And so with that being said, anything in this budgeting system is so unique to you. I'm just going to show you some examples of what you can use, but there's plenty of other options out there. When I first started my journey, I picked up this little accordion wallet from Amazon a year and a half ago, and I've been using it ever since. It does hold cards on the inside as well as a driver's license here on the front. These are called mini envelopes, and I purchased them from an Etsy store. I'll link it down below. And so from that store, I told her what custom categories I wanted. I use mine for groceries, so when I go to the grocery store, I have access to my cash without swiping my card. I use it for fun, like if I'm going to do something on the weekend with my kids. Self-care is if I'm going to get some lashes or get my nails done. And then gas for the car. All of these things I keep in cash. Notice they're empty because I've just got paid, so I need to restock them. But yeah, so these little things sit down inside of here. And then this with the cash in them. And then this would zip up over it. And I carry this on my keys at all times. So that's one way that you can carry your little cash envelopes. Another option that you have is for an A7 binder. And these envelopes will be totally different than the little mini ones. They're a little bigger, and this is the A7 size. I'm going to show you several types of binders across this video. But for cash envelopes, people typically carry, if they're carrying a binder, an A7 binder. And there's several different kinds. The ones that I bought here are from Amazon, and they're all PVC, so they're like plastic. This can just be dropped down in your purse, and when you need some cash, you would pull it out and go to the category of what you have stuffed, okay? I do have some cash here, so you can see kind of what they look like. These little A7 binders came with some labels, and so I put some labels on some of them, like gas, grocery, pet care, fun, family, and on, shopping. And then there's quite a bit more labels that I just didn't use because I think I'm going to gift this away and do this as a giveaway. And so if I do, the labels will be there for someone to customize their own. So to stuff these little binders, the little A7, you would do a cash stuffing, and let's say you had $25 for groceries. So you would have 25. You'd have to fold the bills in half, and then you put it down inside the grocery envelope and zip that up. And this would be your money that you would reach for when you go to the grocery store. Let's say for gas, you were putting $20 for your car, which is unreasonable right now because gas is so expensive. But let's just say you were putting $20. You would just stick that down in there and zip that up. And so now you'd have 20 for gas, 25 for groceries, and however much you had for pet care. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Say you had $7 for pet care. You would fold that up just the same and unzip this little zipper and put that down in here. So this is how most people do their cash envelopes, which are different than sinking funds. And I'm going to explain that in a minute. But for cash envelopes, these are things that you need cash in hand to purchase little incidentals along the way. And it might be some for household because you want to get some laundry detergent. There might be some for beauty because you want to get your nails done. So you can make, the categories are truly endless of what it is that you spend your money on. Okay, so that's how you would do a cash stuffing for cash envelopes. So this is one option that is on Amazon, and it was really affordable. These PVC binders are super affordable. Like, I mean, I want to say under $10 for this whole setup with the envelopes and everything. Okay, but I'll link it down below in my Amazon storefront so you guys can shop down there if you're looking for some little binders. This is another A7 binder, so this is the same size binder. And this one had some little cards that came. I don't know if I purchased the cards separately or with it. I can't remember, but these are A7 cards. So it says dining out on this side, and on this side it has trackers. So you can keep track of how much money you've spent or how much money you still have left in that category. And you would stuff those just the same. So in dining out, let's say you had $20, you just would put the $20 down in here. And then when you went to go eat out, you would be pulling out of this envelope. And if you use the tracker, then you would mark on the tracker how much you've actually spent. So that's what cash envelopes are used for. And these are some options from Amazon that you can purchase. There's also quite a bit of A7 personalized envelopes on Etsy. So you can search on Etsy as well. You'll just type in A7 if you're looking for this little wallet. And some people sell the wallet with custom envelopes already included, but you can use something like this. There's also a third way that you can actually use for cash envelopes, and that is just carrying the cash. Some people just put a little clip or a paper clip with a Post-it note around the dollar bills. So if this was $40 for groceries, they literally just put a paper clip and a Post-it note that says groceries and stick this down in their wallet. So that way they know they have $40 designated for groceries. So that's what cash envelopes are for, and I hope that gives you a greater understanding of that particular term. Let's move on to the next term. Next, I'm going to talk about sinking funds. And the same way that there's an A7 binder, there's also a little bit bigger, which is an A6 binder, and that would be this one. So this came from Amazon, this whole set already put together with these beautiful like floaty things in it, glitter pieces in it. And it came, that's my binder. I'll show you that in a minute, but let's talk about this one first. This is a PVC binder. It was less than $10. It came with tracker sheets inside so you can track your sinking funds, as well as some basic categories on zipper wallets. So these are called zipper wallets, the ones that have the zipper across the top. There's also laminate wallets, and I'll show you those in a minute. But it came with some budgeting sheets like this, where you can go ahead and track your balances. I do have some budgeting sheets down below in my description bar that you can download, print, and cut for free. So if you need some budgeting sheets, you can get some of these from free from down below in my description bar. But these are some good categories. There was things like food, emergency, debt, gifts, savings, rent, utilities, self-care, vacation, and miscellaneous. Those were all the categories that came with this binder. And this vinyl was already placed on these envelopes. So the envelopes already came pre-assigned with titles. So sinking funds, think of them as mini savings accounts that you're saving money towards a goal in the future that you may have. You might know what that goal amount is, but you might just be stashing money away so you can make sure that you have enough when something arises, when this particular type of category arises. So let's say in regards to food, I do have a grocery sinking fund, and I also have a grocery cash envelope. Now my grocery cash envelope, I use that and stuff the money for the week that I'm expecting to spend at the grocery store. But if for whatever reason I go over at the grocery store or I need some additional groceries, I would look to my sinking fund, because this is savings for a rainy day when I don't have enough for groceries that I need. And it might just be food for a holiday occasion. You know what I mean? Like say it's Christmas and you don't want to have to budget that into your regular money, so you budget that into a food budget. So if you wanted to, let's say, save $20 out of this pay period, you would just slide it open and put the $20 in. And that's the money that you would have for food, okay? Say emergency. Dave Ramsey says everybody should have at least $1,000 emergency fund. So say you wanted to stuff $20 down into emergency, you would stick that down in there, and you can fill out the tracker to denote that you put 20 down in there. And eventually, after you're doing this pay period over pay period, it would add up and you have quite a bit in your emergency fund. Debt is the same way. You can be saving up payments towards a debt payment, and in the end of the month, you can pay the debt payment that needs to be paid. So for sinking funds, I do have a video that describes quite a bit some of the categories of different sinking funds that people have. Some people have annual sinking funds. Some people have weekly sinking funds, like things that are annual dues might be things like Amazon, your car registration, anything that you would pay annually, then they have that in an annual binder of sinking funds, okay? And so they'll have custom envelopes made. Now, it depends on how many envelopes you want to have. I'll show you my binder that I have and some of the sinking fund choices that I have, but I'll also put a video up here talking more about sinking funds so you can figure out which ones you want on your journey as you begin, okay? But this little binder, super cute, super easy, already pretty much planned for you. It's linked down below in my Amazon description as well, okay? For my sinking funds, I have made some laminate envelopes, which you can purchase things like these on Etsy that will be personalized, not just from my shop. There's several shops on Etsy that have laminate envelopes in a lot of different styles. These don't have the zipper across the top, okay? And mine are frosted, so they're considered vellum envelopes. So that's even another term you can search on Etsy. But yeah, I do with my kids. I have their money listed in here. So this is one for my daughter, one for my son, one for myself. So if I want to buy myself something, it's already been budgeted for. I have car maintenance, household, when I want to do trips to like Sam's. I have birthdays, medical, clothing, travel. The list goes on because I've added more. Gingy is my cat. I've added more as I went along. Beauty. This is my grocery sinking fund. I have one for date night. Life happens is just in case something happens. Back to school, which I already funded that one. A payment for my homeowners association. 1 month ahead, I'm trying to have at least $3,000 in here. And then glasses for the kids. I just had to take $100 out of here to get my son some replacement glasses because his broke. Giving, because I like to give to others and I save money. So if I need it, I have it to give. And then I have one that's titled bank deposit, because at any moment in time, if I need to pay something, let's say buy my son a backpack, and it really should be coming out of this folder. I do have some money in my checking account and I will pay for the backpack out of my checking account money and then come here and pull out what needs to be redeposited back to the bank and put it in the bank deposit envelope. That's all of my sinking funds. Let's go ahead and talk about what the extra in your checking account is used for, and the term for that is called a buffer. A buffer is in your account just in case you need to purchase something with your debit card, or just in case you have an automatic draft come out of your account that you forgot about. You would have some extra money in your account that's just there, and you would replenish it from some of your sinking funds or cash envelopes if you really needed to purchase something with your card, okay? For me, I try to keep my buffer at a minimum of at least $500, but there are times when I feel like it gets too high, my buffer gets too high, and then I want to spend that money, you know, because then I'm like, oh, there's $2,000 in the bank in the buffer. I might as well go ahead and buy this or buy that. And I don't want to get into that mentality. So I try to keep at least $500 in there at all times, and the rest I pull out in cash on payday, but we'll get to that in a minute. Let's move on to savings challenges. For savings challenges, you can have a PVC binder, which is pretty inexpensive, like this one. This one's really pretty. With the pink envelopes, I went just digging around on Amazon and I saw they had pink zipper envelopes for A5 size and an A5 glitter binder, and I bought it. And then this is my savings challenge binder, so I'll show you mine in a minute. Let's start with this one that I got on Amazon. So for this, you either can write on these type zipper envelopes with a Sharpie, whatever you want it to be. You can draw on here if you're really creative. This came with the binder, and then the envelopes were separate. You can have clear envelopes or pink ones. You also can go on Etsy and get custom vinyl labels placed on here, but this one is a little bit bigger than the A6 binder. So let me show you all three of them. This is called an A5. So let me show you all three of them side by side. All right, so this is the A5 binder, which is the largest. The zipper envelopes hold the most money possible, and that's why a lot of people use these for savings challenges, because savings challenges can add up very quickly. And then there's the A6 binder, which most people use for their sinking funds, and they also can hold quite a bit. And then the smallest binder is the A7. So A7, A6, A5. And the A7 is the one that people usually carry inside their purse and just pull out whenever they need to spend cash, okay? Savings challenges can be used for a variety of things. And I mean, there are so many savings challenges out there. Some you might be familiar with. There's a 100 envelope box or the saving your ones and fives. There's just so many different savings challenges available. I'll show you some of the ones that I'm doing right now. The first one, if you're just getting started, this is a good one. This is a 365 penny challenge. You just color in and save the different dollar amounts of pennies over and over. Either when you get paid, you save a penny or two, or save one a week for a whole year. You pace yourself, okay? But they are some smaller dollar amounts, and this is a free challenge that's available down in my description bar. You just click down there and you can print the PDF, and that'll be a good challenge to get started with. I also have some a book called the Easy Mini Cash Budget 1,000 or Less Savings Challenge Planner that I created. This is for sale on Etsy as a digital download or on Amazon for book form, okay? And they're both linked down below in my description bar, my Amazon storefront and my Etsy. But it comes with over 30 savings challenges that are all under $1,000 or less. This little savings challenge was the Let's Save 450. I just completed this one. And so you just color in, let's say you had $15 to save. You'd find some dots that add up to $15, color that in, and then put it inside of one of these zipper envelopes, the $15, okay? And you continuously do that until you get to the end, and that envelope would have $450 in it. And so it's just a fun way to save. Now, what do people do with their savings challenges? The varieties are endless. You can do things like once you get to the goal of $450 for this one particular challenge, you can reallocate it to different envelopes, which that's exactly what I did with $2,000 that I saved. I'll link a video up here if you want to see that broke down. So you can reallocate the money. You can move it towards your emergency fund. Let's say you're trying to save your $1,000 emergency fund and you're not there yet. You can use one of these smaller savings challenges or something like the penny challenge, which would save you $667.95 when you're done. And you would take all of that money and put that towards your emergency fund. But it just makes it a little bit more fun to color in and see your progress as you go along. That's what I feel like it's for, okay? Some people use their saving challenges for a particular category of sinking fund, okay? Now, we already talked about sinking funds. You're saving for something. So let's say they're designating this, let's say $450 towards their dental appointment, and they know they're gonna have a copay, a large copay of $500. So they do this savings challenge for about 3 months before their dental appointment. So when it's time, they have this $450 plus maybe another $50 from their regular dental sinking fund to put together and pay for their $500 copay. You can use savings challenges to fund your sinking funds. You can use it to fund your emergency fund, which is a type of sinking fund, or you even can just use your savings challenges just to save, you know, or to spend it. Say you save and then you want to spend it on a luxury vacation. You can do that as well. Whatever you want to do with your money is just making it a fun way to save. My savings challenge envelopes that I have, I'm doing a YouTube likes challenge. So every time you guys like the video, which by the way, go ahead and like this video. When I designate that the video is going to be one for this challenge, every time you like the video, I put $1 in for however many likes I have. This one grew so fast. I have a savings challenge for house renovations. It's in one of my savings challenge books. And I will link a link up here for my savings challenge books as well as my planner. So if you guys are interested in any of those, they're very affordable. They're sold on Amazon and they're all less than $15. So you can find a book, and I'm going to explain that in just a minute. I had a summer savings challenge where I was saving for summer. I had one for spring break of this year, but we've already spent that money. I do have a scratch and save challenge. Now I have some challenge cards that I sell on my Etsy store, which this is just another fun way to save, like mystery, you know? So the savings challenge cards look like this. This whole side will add up to at least $100 when you scratch all these dots. So when you get paid, you scratch off one like you would a scratcher, see how much is underneath there and save that amount. And it also has something on the other side to save $250. So I'm working on those, and that's some of the money that I'll be reallocating to other categories once I finish, but it just makes it fun to save because I'm scratching off numbers. I have a Christmas challenge in here. This is also sold in my Etsy storefront where you can save money. Every pay period, you'll color in one of these bulbs until you get all the bulbs colored in. You would designate how much you want your goal to be for Christmas. And so I wanted 1,500, so I made the large bulbs 200 each and the small bulbs all 60. So that way I can get to 1,500. I still have 1, 2, 3, so $180, and I'll get to 1,500 for Christmas. And I have a coffee tea. My emergency fund challenge is in here. I have some other scratch off challenges. This is from another Etsy store. It's a $10 savings challenge. Yeah, there's just so many challenges to be had. I mean, they're all over Etsy as digital downloads as well as physical products. I mainly sell physical products. You can check my Etsy storefront if you're interested in any of the things you see. Also, I bought from Etsy some what we call placeholders. This one is a $500 placeholder. I also have $1,000 ones. And so whenever the envelope gets large, full of money, I will take the $500, real $500 out of the envelope, take it to the bank, and I put a placeholder in its place. So that way I know that there is $500 in the bank for this particular envelope of honeycomb. This is a challenge that I was doing. So sometimes I'll leave the cash in here, but like for Christmas, let's say, I have a $500 placeholder. That denotes that there's $500 in the bank for Christmas. And then all of this is real money. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 13, 10, 25. So I have $1,325 so far. And I'm almost at my $1,500 goal. But that's what the placeholders are. And a lot of people will talk about placeholders, or prop money, they call it as well. And so that's how you use that, okay? All right, so now that we have all the basic terms down of what a cash envelope is, what a sinking fund is, and what a savings challenge is, let's talk about how we put it all together. Let me get a planner. And before we get into the budgeting planners, there's something else that I want to talk about as far as starting your journey. For starting your journey, if you don't have even the $10 or $15 it costs to get the binders from Amazon, they're very affordable on there. Or let's say you shopped on Etsy and you found someone and you wanted to buy a binder, but it cost too much. Set yourself up a sinking fund to be able to purchase those things from either Etsy or to purchase those things from Amazon. And in the meantime, get you a regular standard box of envelopes. I don't have one here, but just, 100 envelopes in a box for like $4. And label those each individual category. One might be Etsy or Amazon. And as you're saving, putting money in these envelopes and putting them back in the box every pay period, when you finally get enough, go purchase a binder. You don't have to start with any of this. When I first started, I had a binder. I learned how to make the envelopes myself, and so I made them for myself, but you don't have to do that, okay? I will link videos up above in regards to how to make envelopes. If you're interested in making some envelopes, I'll link a playlist up above that has all the different types of envelopes that I've made and made tutorials for, okay? But you don't have to have that in order to get started. You really can do it with just a regular standard box of envelopes. And with that being said, you don't have to have a planner either. Now, does a planner make it easy? Yes. That's why these planners are called the Easy Cash Budget Weekly Planners. This one is for a weekly budgeter when budgeting with sinking funds and cash envelopes. I created this planner as well as about 5 others for different pay period cycles. And again, that video will be linked up above with the savings challenge information. And you can check out the planner review of all the planners and see if any of them best suit you. All of the planners are under $15 on Amazon, so they're very, very affordable. Could you do this on pen and paper? Absolutely. My very first video that I put out, it definitely was done on pen and paper. So here's an example of a paycheck that I received. So I had $1,800 in income. This was for 2 weeks. I needed to pay these certain bills, so I jotted down how much bills I need to pay. And that told me that that equaled 407, and I had this much remaining. In my cash envelopes, which we already discussed, I put some money for gas, groceries, and fun, which came to $470. And then I went on to list all my sinking funds that I wanted to put money into, and I put a little bit into each of them, as well as some money into savings challenges. From there, I put some money in giving, which is a type of sinking fund for me. And once I added all this up, it came up to a zero-based budget. Next, I needed to figure out how many bills or what denomination of bills I needed to get from the bank. So I worked on this cash stuffing tracker that comes in the planner to make it that much easier for you, okay? I listed all the categories that are here. I listed all those here, as well as giving. And then the cash envelopes I listed over here. Now the money for my bills, I leave that in the bank and I pay that with my debit card. So there's no need to take this out only to put it right back in, unless you're saving to be a month ahead in your bills. You know, say you already paid all your bills, but you want some extra money for Georgia Power for next month. Then you would have a Georgia Power sinking fund, and you would pull some money out for Georgia Power and put it in that envelope. But for me, I'm just paying bills month to month at this time, okay? So then I write down the dollar amount. Jason Janae, for instance, it was $100. That's what I had listed over here in my budget. So I put down 3 20s, 2 10s, and 4 5s, and that equals $100. I did that all the way down for all the categories and then added straight down to determine how many bills I needed to get from the teller. So in this stuffing, I was stuffing $1,395. I needed 6 100s, 5 50s, 18 20s, 11 10s, and 15 5s. And I made some mistakes. You will make mistakes along the way. And so that added up to $1,395. This dollar amount right here is what I wrote down to take to the bank. And when I got to the teller and she asked me how did I want my money back, I told her these exact denominations. So when I came home and I set it up, I can then begin my cash stuffing. Okay. So for cash stuffing itself, I then pulled out my cash envelopes, which were the little mini ones in my little accordion wallet. And I put in $120 for gas, and $300 for groceries, and $50 for fun. And I did the same thing with all of my sinking funds, flipping through my books, putting in a certain dollar amount for them as well as giving, and all the money on the table was gone and in its proper place and out of my account, which is the key point, okay? Because when you take it out of your account, you're more mindful of what you're spending it on. You're not just, swiping your card here and there and spending money and not being mindful about what you're spending. It takes a lot of energy to pull $40 out of a little cash envelope and hand it to somebody. You know that you're spending it, okay? Versus when you're just swiping it, you're not keeping track of what you're spending. Also, you can see in your little cash envelope that it's depleting, it's going down, and you don't have but maybe $10 left. That means you might not be able to take that trip to Chipotle for your $12 bowl because you only got $10 left, okay? So that's just some ways that it's truly, truly helped me. So these books, like I said, you can find down below in my Amazon storefront, and they're based on when you get paid, either weekly, bi-weekly, semi-monthly, or monthly. So you can take a look at the review video, the comparison video that I linked above in the eye in the sky, and then also head down to Amazon in order to purchase one, okay? If you want to digital download this type of planner, it is available on my Etsy storefront as well. All right, I think that's everything. If you guys made it all the way to the end of this video, let me know you a real one and put this one single emoji right here. Also, if you're looking for more information about how to get started, not just the logistics of what all these terms mean, but how to actually use this information to create a budget of your own and how to get started with that, check out this video right here. That's a really good video on how to get started. This video right here is also good because it talks about per pay period, how you should budget. And I think that's everything for today. I appreciate you guys for being here. Take care. Bye-bye.